One of the reasons why every single morning we wake up to go and work is so that we can be able to make money. If you want to be able to make money, you have to provide some sort of value. Now, this seems so basic, but hear me out. You wake up in the morning, go on an income, get money, and then all you need to do in order to be able to survive for the next month becomes harder because of one simple concept called inflation. If you make money today, you want it to be able to pay your basic needs: food, shelter, clothing. Those three things. Of course, with other things like education, entertainment, all the rest of the things that makes working worthwhile. Now, one of the biggest issues that we have been facing in Kenya is the fact that if you are trying to earn money, the money you make today, tomorrow is worth less. The problem is, the more this happens and the faster this happens, the money you are earning now becomes worthless. Now, in this country, over the past 50 or so years, of course, our currency value has been going down against all the major currencies. And the truth of the matter is, that is a matter of economics, and the fact that we are a net importer country has actually affected each one of us. But when we were looking at other countries like Zimbabwe, like Venezuela, and now like Argentina, all these things of hyperinflation, meaning inflation that is out of control, all these things seemed afar off. They seemed like, that's not us. Those are other people mismanaging their countries, and we are lucky because we are doing well. But Kenya actually appeared on the list of countries with the worst currency devaluation in 2023. On January 6th of this year, I remember doing a video where the Kenya shilling was 123 shillings to the dollar. And as at the time of recording this video, the Kenya shilling is at 150 and sometimes even more to the dollar. And experts and pundits, economists are predicting that we probably will get to 200 shillings at the end of the year. What is that going to mean for you? Anytime that you earn in Kenya shillings, you need to actually consume different products. 99% of us do not have the ability of producing everything for ourselves, so no other expenses coming out or going in. And so you need to buy things, you need to consume things in order to survive. One of the things that we consume a lot of is petrol or diesel, just fuel. And we import fuel from outside the country and we pay in USD. That means that the place where you buy your fuel from, your petrol station, or if you're using public transport, the matatu has gone to a petrol station, the person they are buying petrol from has bought it in dollars. What happens is, when a petrol station or the company that imports the fuel is importing, they have to convert the Kenya shillings to dollars. And every single month, they have to pay a little more just to get the fuel that they would have gotten. So that means that their cost of goods sold is going up just to get the same amount of fuel that they got last month. So for instance, in July, they would have paid at 140, but in August, 145. In September, you're doing 150, just to be able to get the same level of fuel. And I'm taking this really slow so that you can be able to get where the problem is. Now, when a company does that continuously, what tends to happen is they have to increase their profits so that they can stay in business. There is no business that is started for the sake of, I want to help the community. It's always we need to make a profit. And that's a real definition of business. So what does that mean? For the importer, they have to increase their prices. There is no choice. But then that is now passed to your matatu driver. That is passed to your Uber. That is passed to you as a final consumer who owns a car. And then that means that you have also to look for money elsewhere so that you can be able to just take care of this same bill that last month or 2 months ago was 1,000 shillings, now 1,500, and soon it's going to be 2,000, just to do the same thing. Now, if you have a business, that cycle continues, because now as a business person, your expense and just on fuel have increased, and so you have to increase your prices as well to the next person. And for so many people, because they are final consumers, they have no one else to take it to, and so they have to bear that brand themselves. And so the question is this: if I'm going to be earning in Kenya shillings and spending more just for my expenses, and then financial experts are also telling me I need to save my money, where am I going to save my money if my expenses are going up and my currency is actually being devalued? This is where you need to think out of the box. One of the fastest solutions that I usually give people is this: get a USD denominated account and start saving there. Now, before everyone comes at me and says, you're telling people to hold in US dollars, or USD is also being depreciated, I know all those arguments. But the truth of the matter is, so many people have their money stuck in local currency and it's losing value fast. So putting money in a foreign currency account at least allows you to push that problem a little down the road. But hear me out. The USD is still not the final solution. It is a better solution than putting your money in an MMF or putting your money in your Kenyan shilling account, a current account. You'd rather have it in a USD account where you're saving. And then when you need the money is when you actually go to the bank, do that conversion, use the money. But the rest of it stays in USD. But that is not the final solution. What you need to also understand is the inflation that is carried by the US dollar is actually distributed across the world. And I don't want to go into so many details around that. But hear me, money needs to have a fixed supply. This infinite supply of money is what makes money or the economy have inflation. In fact, if you are able to find a fixed money supply, then you can actually know that if I put my money here, then tomorrow, because the demand and production will still be going up, then I'll be able to have a little more value as time goes by. And that's where Bitcoin comes in. Bitcoin has a fixed money supply and 21 million Bitcoin ever to be in circulation. They're not all in circulation yet, but that will be the final number. So what does that mean for you is that if you're able to put your money there and save it there, then that means that in future, because demand will continue going up, then you have at least money that you can be able to depend on. This is not that play of I need this money tomorrow for it to make sense. This is if you actually want to create generational wealth for you and your family, for you and the generations that are to come, then you need to think of, where do I put money that will not be subject to all this inflation that my local currency is currently having, and secondly, that the US dollar for real will of course show in the future. You can be able to put it in a place where tomorrow Bitcoin will be worth more, because more and more people will start opening their eyes to the fact that the money they have is getting worth less, and the US dollar is not going to finally save them. So they need to put their money in a place where they can be able to save for long. I hope that this has been able to make those wheels start turning in your mind so that you can finally find a solution for the inflation that is hitting us in this country. If you want such videos, please let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.